coffee and hot.
Oh, yeah, damn good coffee and hot. How are you, folks? Just reading a message from my friend Carl, who is living the life of Riley down in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. I don't say it well. I know. I don't say anything well. Just reading this message. Okay, I read it already. Okay, it's good. Nice. Good morning. It's great to have you here. It's Monday, May 9th, 2022. And when I took the trash out this morning, just about an hour ago, it was 43 degrees out here. Sunny, feeling like the sun is bringing some springtime vibes, but still fucking cold. And I was thinking about this yesterday because 44 years ago today, I don't know why the day sticks in my mind. I was flying an overnight from Laguna Beach, California. Left Laguna Beach in the daytime, and then by the time I got to LAX, it was the later in the day. Took a midnight red eye to JFK. It was 87 degrees when I left Laguna Beach on May 8th. By the time I got off the plane at JFK on May 9th, it was 38 degrees, cold and raining. And I remember I didn't have much luggage. I was still dressed in beach attire and freezing my ass off. Well, it's kind of like today. It was 43 degrees. It rained here for the last week and it's been in the 40s. And this morning, 43 degrees. And I know like that summer's going to pop this week. And we're going to go from really no springtime, from winter right into summer, and that looks like the forecast. It's 43 degrees out right now. By Saturday, it's going to be 85 and sunny. We don't get springtime anymore. We just go. We have two seasons, winter and summer. That's it. And we do have a little bit of autumn. Autumn lasts about 3 or 4 weeks in mid-October. Other than that, it's winter and summer. Anyway, good morning. Andy Andrus will be with us at some point whenever he decides to call in. I leave it up to him. He could call in early, he could call in late. Who knows with Andy? And that's just fine. Whenever he decides to pop in, that's fine with me. But so I'm wondering, I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are in America or around the world. If you're not in America, and there are quite a few people on my shopping list that aren't necessarily in America. So just hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are. Looking at my Facebook memories this morning, I see 2 years ago today, I was bitching about a gig that was getting canceled tomorrow, meaning May 10th, 2 years ago, for snow. So that reinforces my point. There's no springtime. It just goes from summer from winter to summer. Kevin's in the chat room saying morning testing students for a few hours of the day today, waiting on Andy's appearance. Was 77 there this morning in Sticky, which is somewhere in Oklahoma. I don't know exactly where in Oklahoma, but somewhere in Oklahoma. 77 and Sticky. Sticky is weird because you don't see a lot of humidity out in that part of the country. You know, it's kind of right in the middle, in between the oceans. Anyway, so that's the weather report. I'm Storm Napo, and that's your weather report for the morning. Hope you enjoy it. I need a weather girl. That's what I need, a weather girl. Lots of gigs this weekend. A couple I forgot I had on Sunday, which really bummed me out because I was looking forward to a day of rest. Yesterday was Mother's Day, if you don't know that. And here in America, it was Mother's Day. Of course, my friends across the pond celebrated Mother's Day over a month ago. Lots of people remembering mom and showing pictures of their mom, very proud of their mothers. Not me. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm showing pictures of Richie Albano on Mother's Day. He's my mother. So Richie Albano in a dress. There you go. What is interesting today? Well, there's a lot of things that are interesting. I'm seeing on my Twitter feed. Epstein is trending again, and I just saw a thing that said not one. Let me see if I can find it and read it. Not one person has uh, not one single person who is paid to rape children on Epstein Island has been arrested. Not one. Nobody. And we know the island was there for the purpose of underage prostitutes. And whether they thought it was consensual or not, that's rape by definition, underage prostitutes. Island full of them. And we know who went there often. Uh, Bill Gates was on the flight log 37 times. He claimed he just had some dinners with Jeffrey Epstein. Dinners, you don't take a flight to his private island where he's got underage prostitutes stocked up for dinners. Bill Clinton, how many times was he on the flight logs? We know all these powerful men, Alan Dershowitz, lots of them have seen, not one, not even charged, never mind tried and or convicted or acquitted, any of that kind of stuff. Not even charged. Scary. Weird. No, weird in the sense that it's unbelievable. 27. What is the 20? Good morning, Carl. Again, 27 what? 37 times Bill Gates was, uh, I don't know how many times, uh, um, Clinton was on the flight logs. Epstein, 37 times on the flight logs to Epstein Island. 37 times. A lot of time. Hey, good morning, Jamie. As soon all I got to do is mention Epstein and fucking Colin and Jamie come out of the woodwork. Oh, they're talking to our subject again. These guys, they love the perv talk. Both of them. It's yeah. Well, they're like they're like squirrels. You can they hear you put the nuts out and they come running. Um, it's just so friggin' weird though, and all conspiracy theory about Epstein getting whacked becomes a lot more believable when you just see how this story has been buried. Nobody talks about it in the news. It's like a non-story. Very, very. Yeah, Trump did fly there. Trump was on the flight logs, but not nearly as much as Clinton and Gates. And I don't know how many times Clinton was on there, but I know it was a lot. But Gates seems to be the all-time winner at 37. Again, he's just claiming he had some dinners. Let's go to dinner. Where? On my island. No, there's a restaurant down the street. I shouldn't laugh about this stuff, but it's just so. Ah, see, Carl is all over this now. They're excited by this subject. They're like wildlife. They hear you spreading some seed out there or some food, and they come running. Uh, Carl and Jamie are just like Epstein addicts. They love that stuff. Maybe they're here expecting Andy to be here early. Who knows with Andy though? I know he was up early. I saw him on Twitter already. That doesn't mean he's going to show up early. William Conway's in the audience right now. Good time to mention that he's got a show coming up. Let me bring up. It's going to be like a. Well, I'll try to read the poster and maybe let him explain it. He's in the chat room. Damn, I'm a little slow with the technology again. Definitely working on getting an intern in here. I actually reached out to a local what is it? A local school that teaches um media arts and media communication stuff for high school students. It's a technical school, and I reached out to them to get some interns. Waiting to hear back. Hopefully, that will happen soon. Here it is. Okay, so it's West Texas Comic Con. It starts Monday at noon, which is today. We don't have a link for it yet. William's going to get us the link. You can like his video to cast your vote and make make him the new master of ceremonies for uh, West Texas Comic Con. Got looks like a lot of people on there now. Voting starts Monday. I don't know. It's gonna be through Thursday, I think. Don't have all the details by this poster. Just trying to make it out. William, if you want to send more details or put it in the chat room, we can let people know about it, and we'll remind you about that later on in the program as well. So, um, anyway, looking forward to finding out. Starting noon central, right? I think I said that noon central, right? Um, yeah. You can follow him on Facebook to learn more about it. Follow William on Facebook. Uh, and you can probably find the link from my Facebook right to his. So because I think he's commented on a bunch of my stuff. So it's easy to find him. I will put the link in the description after the program. What else is going on here? I don't want to talk about Epstein all day. I just noticed that it was trending and thought that was just a little disconcerting. For some reason, some right wing nut job, Jack Probuzak, is going off about Pizza Hut. Uh, it's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Calling Pizza Hut, saying the Pizza Hut is like um, emblematic of the American decline. Pizza Hut was once a great, exciting restaurant. I don't know what he's talking about. Uh, I think I went to a Pizza Hut once in my entire life, and basically, it was always just another bad pizza place. And not a New York pizza place, not something I would ever bring anybody to, a Pizza Hut place. Now, I'm sorry, Pizza Hut people. I don't mean to be rude. Ooh, hey, what happened? What happened? Carl just was there and then he was not there. Did you be there and not there yourself, or did I there you and not there you?
Yeah, I don't like it when it puts me straight on screen. I could, have my penis out
Oh,
again.
oh. So let me introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous from Playboy rock star man who's living a life of just the dream you would want to have if you wanted to be like Hugh Hefner, Carl Hefner, whatever. Here he is now, the fabulous, sexy, and most wanted man in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Carl, man. Whoa.
And have a pot of coffee.
Holy crap, you make me feel so small and insignificant. But yours has
And
the sticker on it. No, it doesn't.
I need to get some. I need to get some of those. I'm in Buzios, which is a really quiet region of Rio. So I've come here to be still now. There's no moving around. I'm just going to be here for a couple of weeks.
Uh-oh. William Conway saying his regular job is a Pizza Hut. I'm sorry to put your place down, bro.
And the
Look
barbecue.
at you. Wow.
A pool.
Wow. Damn. Oh, and is that water in the background there? You're like on the beach?
No, that's a pool.
Oh, a pool, beach, same thing.
Yeah,
Wow,
pretty clear.
man.
I just called in to say they were going to that island to get Pizza Hut. Bill Gates liked, the Pizza Hut KFC combo, and then they went to Johnny Depp's island. So
Johnny Depp has an island?
yeah,
It's I think
well,
it was
he had an island.
pretty shitty there. Well, I can't believe you. It's like you're living the dream. All of a sudden, you went from like this mundane place where it rains all the time and people talk with funny accents and they're always
Well,
drunk and whatever. Now
another
you're
another
in
yeah, go on.
paradise. Now you're in
Another
paradise.
another juxtaposition is to say I was living a lonely existence, sweating, falling on my head after drinking too much bourbon, hating myself and where I live for years, and I'm taking a break.
Wow, man. Good for you. I mean, I can't tell you. I wish I was you right now. I don't say I'm not kidding when I say I wish I was Carl. Why can't I
Listen,
be you?
as I said before, this is all a facade. There's a whole life to sort out still when I get
It's
back to the UK. But
it's a wonderful facade. Hey, fuck the reality, man. That's what I say. Fuck reality. Live the fucking illusion. Live the dream. Fucking run with the facade. That's what I say.
it's all a facade. Listen, we're all living a facade, isn't it? So
Right.
I'm gonna
Yep.
run with everyone I can.
Yeah.
I'll go
Wow.
around telling everyone I've got a massive cock as well. Oh,
So is it gonna
I'm
be?
not alone.
You're not?
Well, I'm renting a small place in someone else's property, but
uh, is it gonna be beautiful there forever, like all year round, or do they get winter?
this is nearly winter, so it's like
Yeah.
in terms of Celsius, what are we looking at today? 20, 23, 24, 25.
So what is that?
That's
Like in the
winter.
70s, almost 70 degrees or something?
Yeah, little rain here, but this is like a peninsula, so it's almost island weather. But even when it rains, it's fine. It's warm.
Peninsula is awful, like close to Peninsula.
Peninsula. Yeah, exactly.
Peninsula.
That's what I call mine.
Yes, me
I
too.
used to call it Hercules, but these days I don't know. It's a bit.
I call it Wimpy. I will gladly pay you for a hamburger on Tuesday. Um,
Call mine Wimpy.
yeah, but no. So it's going to flip a switch here. It's cold right now, but on Saturday, actually on Friday it'll be 80. Saturday it'll be 85 and sunny and hot and humid, oppressively heat, and like we've had no spring whatsoever. I love the summer
Wild
though,
time.
but
Wild times. I think it's going to be warm in the UK this week, like 20, 22, which is not far off this temperature.
how is Jamie living without you? Does he miss you? He can't live without you. He's sad now. You were his
Yeah,
only
well,
friend.
I know he's barely turning up for podcast, so here we go. Dream Crusher won't let him join in. Yeah, I invited Jamie to Brazil, and his wife or whatever she is won't let him go.
Wow.
So if they're watching this together, Keely, you've ruined Jamie. You've made him pay for those kids. He's got to stick around for another 4 years, and it's affecting his comedy, his dreams.
Well, I'm looking at my badge from yesterday. Can you see my badge?
What was that for? Napo
I had to go.
vendor.
Uh, yeah, I had to go play music in a nursing home, and they have this touchless screen to identify yourself, and then they ask you all the COVID questions, and then you go in, and it's like they started a new mask mandate. Now numbers aren't up. It's really leveled off, and even people are getting it. Nobody's getting it. It's like a cold. It really is like a cold now. And I don't mean to spread misinformation or any of that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
It's
it's
fake.
it feels like it. It's like, and now they're having me sing to a mask. It's like all of a sudden, what's the new panic about? Like, come on, I've been out there doing gig. I was out the night before doing a gig in a bar with nobody wearing a
Yeah,
mask.
so I get it. The UK's is fine, but when I came to Brazil, I connected through Canada, and the flight. Obviously, I had my mask on for like 2 flights, and in the airport, and they were super strict there. They were saying in the tannoy between sips of drink, wear your mask, and I was like, go fuck yourself at this point. I've been on the flight for like 9 hours.
Oh, man.
Nah, you can come and arrest me. And as soon as you get to Brazil, in the first city, half people were wearing them, half the Uber drivers. But up this way, no one gives a fuck. It's
Yeah.
it's too nice for COVID.
Well, I was yesterday. No, it wasn't a toe tapping one. Williams in the chat room right now. It was the first time in my life where because it was the first gig was 11:30 to 12:30, and apparently in the nursing home rehabilitation center that's the time when everybody shits themselves. So I'm doing walk around, and the hall I'm going, I mean, just hitting me like the stench of shit is just overwhelming. Everybody
Why
shit.
why do they shit? Is that 2 hours after coffee or
I don't know.
after they get punched in the ribs by the carers? What's going
They,
on?
they get up, they have their breakfast, whatever it is, and they do what they do, and then they go back to their rooms and they shit themselves. They don't. Most of them need cleaning. Like they don't
Yeah,
even go to the bathroom. They get in bed and they're like trying to be Amber Heard or something. But everybody doing it at once and then trying to sing through a just overwhelming sense of shit in the air. It was fucking brutal. I was gagging.
I've never been in a place where it's been loads of people, but years ago I used to work in mental health care, believe it or not, and I experienced it was more individuals. But yeah, the smell, it's a different kind of smell. Mentally ill shit it smells different to mentally well shit.
It's that like bad
Oh
diarrhea.
man, what are you eating?
Yeah. And they do feed them some weird shit in those places. But so I'm supposed to be doing walk around, and obviously somebody just shit themselves, and I got to walk into the room. Would you like a song?
Oh, you're playing bed to bed, hoping to take another one out of his mortal coil.
Yeah, that's basically what the gig is. It's walk around. So, which I love because it's no equipment. You just carry your guitar and walk around the place, and it's freestyle. But
so I know you've had a couple die in the audience. Have you ever had someone die 1-to-1 as you're playing a song?
Oh yeah. I had one guy. I sang him to heaven. The guy, he was in a coma when I came in the room, but he hadn't opened his eyes or spoken a word in 2 months. And I played, and it was just him. He was the only one in the room. I played a 45-minute set for this one guy because it was in the contract.
What was the last song that you played?
One of mine called "Sweet Forgiveness," and there's a line in there that says, "I got a friend in Jesus. I know He died for me, but I pray that He'll forgive me for the times I don't believe." And as I said that, he opened his eyes. He looked at the light in the ceiling and said something. Went to reach for the light, and then he died.
Yeah, he was trying Sweet Forgiveness. He'd just been wanked off by a male nurse for the past 30 days in a coma.
Yeah. I can't believe Jamie Dykes has the audacity to come on.
He's allowed to call. Yeah, I'm just popping on until there's a real guest. And
look at the fucking hat he's wearing. Do you see the hat he's wearing?
Listening, man.
Fucking New York Yankees.
Hey, I've only got to wear the New York Yankees cap because my hair looks like a fucking mess.
You can New York Yankee me, pal.
Motherfucking goddamn fucking Yankees.
How are you, Jamie? You miss Carl?
Yeah, I do. It's a different feel speaking to Carl when he's in Brazil as opposed to like a few miles down the road.
Why don't you go hang with him? He's hanging in paradise. He's got women all. He's got a pool. He's got people bringing him, gourmet food and great drinks while he sings "Just Feed Me a Grape." He's in the lounge chair to get beautiful women peeling grapes for him.
It's because of Dream Crusher.
Yeah.
Dream Crusher, man. Carl sort of summarized my whole life very beautifully.
Who doesn't want to be Carl right now?
Yeah, Carl's living the dream, even though he looks like he's fucking frozen right now. Brazil hasn't got great Wi-Fi. That's all we can say.
Is he frozen or is he just faking it? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think he's just
No, he's frozen, isn't he?
Maybe
you froze him.
He's just flaking out right now.
That's really weird. No, he couldn't hold it still that long.
Nah, no way. That's frozen, man.
I love it. So, how difficult would it be for you to kill everybody who knows you exist and just run away?
Depends on the weapon, I suppose. Weapon of choice. If I had a gun, which you can't really get in the UK. I mean, you can get guns, but like a shotgun. So you're talking double barrel shotgun, so you can fucking pump off 2 people at any given time. Reload. I don't know. It take some time.
All right. Well, let's speaking of cancer. Andy's here. Let's bring him in. Let's say hello to Andy.
Did I hear cancer? All right. Yeah, cancer.
Everybody's got cancer. We all got
cancer. Team
How you doing, Andy?
Yeah, I'm all right.
It seems a little dark there.
Well, that's lighting has never been my thing.
I know that.
And I got a dying. Well, he's not dying today, Cat. But he's got to have the window open there, so it fucks up my light, and I can't do anything about it because he's dying more so than me.
I've been through that so many times in the last 15 years because my wife was a cat lady. She had 5 when I got here. We have 2 now, and they're not the original 5. So I watched all 5 of those.
So you're like just a band.
Yeah,
You start
like
you just replace the drummer now and then.
Spinal Cat. That's what
you have some cats that were drinking or doing heroin that you had to get rid of.
Yeah. But here's the thing with cats. I don't know if you know this, that, well, you've had cats, you might know this, that they will go away. They'll just know it's my time to die, and then they'll just go and hide in some place where you'll never find them until they start to stink.
People do that too, and dogs do that. I had a dog that left, and then my dad just said he probably went off to die, and I was like, what? And it's a bummer. And then I found him, and he was in fact in a part of the yard we never went to, woodsy, and he went to die, and I dragged him out of there so that we could take him to a vet and do it proper.
Maybe that's what Carl's doing. Carl, is that what you're doing?
Come to Brazil to die. Yeah, well,
you don't
probably AIDS.
Carl doesn't look at all tan for being in Brazil.
I think it's the lighting. I am pretty tan.
Okay. Yeah, your lighting and my lighting. But
that's as tan as they get. That's as
mine's chemotherapy.
Yeah.
You get a nice tan from chemotherapy. It's you don't notice it for a while. But
I was going to say you're looking good. Last time we saw you, you were vomiting. Last time I spoke to you, you were vomiting into a bag. So it's nice to see you keeping everything psychologically and physically.
Sick on a live stream. There was an interesting moment in my life. It was
I don't know how that even came about. You know, like
I think we took advantage of your cancer and called you in hospital or something.
I think I dialed up, but I don't remember. You know, that was a dream state. I was like calling from the middle, like in just post surgery.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Doc, when you scalpel down, I gotta make a quick call on a podcast. Please hold, Doc.
Right. I still felt like I was like not human strength, but I felt like I was still, oh, okay, I'm all right. And then it's like a fucking ton of bricks fell on me after that call. Morphine doesn't, you know. Well, what happened is my what do they call it? Epidural slid out.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any proper drugs for a long time. So it was like, you think you hallucinate from drugs, try not having drugs when you're in that kind of pain. That's the fucking weird head trips.
I've been there, man. I definitely have been in enough pain and no drugs could work on me anyway, but then got cut off in the middle of having that severe pain. And
when you see a guy in the movies or whatever getting beat, and then they kick them when they're down. And then they always let out a grunt. That's because it's just like, oh yeah, that's like the fucking release finally.
You know, that's funny because I've been thinking about this, and not to put comedians down or anything, but comedians are all worried about getting attacked now. In my business, that's been going on I've been attacked on stage more times than I could count. Guys trying to grab at me, grab my equipment, do stuff, and then we get in a fight on stage. I've seen guys get stomped to death at gigs. So comedians, all of a sudden freaking out because one guy gets punched or attacked or something. Musicians, that's all that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Roadhouse. There's a poor blind guy on there, and they're still throwing bottles at a blind guy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Patrick swayze should have just got on a mic there and said, hey man, this dude's fucking blind.
That would have ended a little quick.
Yeah. Maybe get his buddy Sam to, God damn it, this won't fly here, boys. But yeah, I've seen bar fights and had seen people come after comics enough, but it should just be something that the Hollywood Bowl, that's just kind of fate, it's like Kennedy running into that guy in the basement or in the kitchen. It's like, it's just not supposed to happen, but it did. And from what I saw of the video, that guy was pretty fast.
Yeah, he did look like a little bit athletic for a homeless guy. And it didn't take long for the conspiracy theories to start. At least some guy said, "How does a homeless guy get in to see a show that $200 a ticket start?" And you
Yeah,
know,
that is a good question.
it was an empty seat at the Hollywood Bowl, and they said we can't have empty seats for this for Dave. So
Why would there be? Yeah, but it's like, I know seat fillers for some shows, but
yeah. Well,
not
and
that
yeah,
one.
it wasn't taping it that because if there would be real shots instead of those shitty phone videos that we saw.
Yeah, and there may be, there must have been some official camera around there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. If you're worried about being
what's the
attacked
conspiracy?
what's that?
Well, the conspiracy theory that it was staged. That they set him up for this. This was a staged thing for attention or whatever, like some kind of publicity stunt.
You can find.
I can see maybe some protesters brought him a ticket.
Yeah, but it just seemed like it was spontaneous.
Well, and the end result, that guy didn't sign up for that to have his arm put on backwards. I mean, I bet a free ticket to see Dave Chappelle, and we'll put your arm on backwards when you're done.
For some reason, it made me think of John Wilkes Booth, just because he had kind of if you were just took John Wilkes Booth's weapons and melted them together, like he just had the knife stuck to the gun and didn't use and he didn't even pull those who don't learn from history are doomed to fail at their assassination attempt, if that's what it was. And I don't think you go tackle a guy with a knife on your person. I don't know. It just seems like, it was a really botched assassination, more so than just a comic getting assaulted on stage.
Right. How would you know that thing's not going to stab you? Because that thing looked like there's no way you could keep it like holstered where it would be safe that it's not going to stab you.
Yeah. And security dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Right. That's wild. That's wild at a Chappelle show, the security are letting people on stage. But they didn't drop the ball after, although was that Chappelle's mates or security that kicked his
I think
head
it was his buddies. I don't know. I think he had
right up, didn't they? They give him a good fucking pasting.
Security dropped the ball just letting the guy in with a gun, a knife gun, a knife a gun that shoots knives.
Well, at Chappelle's shows too, they don't have, they like bag up your phones and shit. So they go through the process of making sure somebody doesn't have a cell phone, and yet a guy with a gun knife or a knife gun, whatever the fuck, man. It's like, get two separate ones, put one in your boot like Wilkes did, have a speech, have a simplify, and then whatever the fuck he said. No, that's the Marine one, but whatever.
Yeah, there's no metal detector at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah,
crazy.
Surprised those knife guns haven't been selling. Didn't pick up some sales from this thing.
I would have suggested this. Like I might have said this on our show. Is the switchblade comb that was actually a switchblade.
Right.
Like they go, they take it's from security, and then they go, oh, it's just a comb, and then you just peel the comb part out and go stab away.
Yeah.
But those aren't even, if somebody had one of those today, you'd kick their ass just for like, fuck you. It's not even, but you remember those? You had one, right?
Yeah.
It's like, pull it out.
My brother had one.
Yeah. It's only cool for the joke is you're trying to scare somebody that you're going to stab them and then you comb your hair, but it's only funny like a couple times.
I stabbed the guy in the knee. A friend of mine, I stabbed him in the knee on acid with one of those. Yeah, we were doing acid, and for some reason, he decided to hit me with a bag of leaves, and I thought that was funny. And I got out my comb, and I was stabbing the bags of leaves, and he was hitting me with them, and I was stabbing the bag of leaves, and he had it in front of his leg, and I went and he pulled it away, and it went right into his knee, and it stuck there, and it was stuck, and I couldn't get it out, and he was laughing. He was laughing while I got this nut.
So they do stab. That's the key. Is I think the key going forward in the future is have something that looks harmless that can stab.
Make it look like Keith Sutherland in Stand By Me when he pulls out that flick blade to the kids.
Yeah.
Make it look authentic.
Did any of the fucking terrorists that stormed the Capitol have a sign that converts into a stabbing stick? You know, it's like
Yeah.
you got to think of this shit. You know, you have protests pro-Trump thing, and that should be unsheathed as something that you could do some damage with, a ninja stick or something.
Yeah.
None of those fucking dumbasses. They all brought their tracking devices, and they're gonna overthrow the government, and they don't even bring a sharp stick.
I think they did. They took had some sharpened hockey sticks that were broken off.
Yeah, but
and-
all of them.
yeah.
I mean, that was it was a proper coup attempt with help all the way to the top, and that's why the South lost. They're fucking too passionate and too fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They get all worked up and then they
There's
can't
a
think
documentary
straight.
on Netflix now.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Start watching a documentary on Netflix about the storm in the Capitol. It's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. So, yeah, it's just. I mean, it's like watching shit happen on 9/11. It's it's just frozen in time with it. But I said it before. It's like the fucking best thing that Trump did was to encourage that kind of bullshit. It was like our government's just kind of hanging by a thread, and then these fucking guys are swinging on the rope. So it's like, if that doesn't break it, then fuck it, I guess we join them and I got to get some more red, white, and blue clothes.
Crazy. And what Trump fucking did so, with ease was managed to convince all of his followers. Not only was Nancy Pelosi a bad person, he managed to convince his people that, Mike Pence is also in on this as well now. So you might as well cut his fucking head off too. I mean, these guys, these QAnon people just ate up everything fucking Trump said.
Well, Pence had his Tom Hagen moment when they sent the Secret Service with a car for him, and he said, "I'm not getting in that car."
Yeah, but so they're saying, I've heard, I immediately interpreted that as if he got in the car, he didn't think he would, he thought he'd get murdered. But now some are saying Mike Pence, the fucking, iron fucking spineless, whatever. I think I called him iron and spineless, but spineless fucking weasel. And he's going to stand up for knowing that this isn't right. And if he leaves, they'll install somebody else to do the job that he's not doing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hard sell, considering he's a guy who showed up at a football game to walk out in protest of somebody kneeling at the anthem, right? It was like an Indianapolis Colts game. He shows up there. They have to pay for security, all that shit, just so he knows that somebody's going to take a knee and he'll get up. And he's not even doing that of free will. He's doing that because Trump wants him to do it.
Yep.
So that's the guy who's like, I'm not getting in that car. I think he's not getting in that car because he knows that Secret Service guy is not down with his closet homosexual act. He's one of Trump's guys
from Indiana. They're all back.
Oh yeah.
It was a good Michelle. Is it Michelle Wolf, the comedian? She was doing that fucking gig, and she done a joke about Mike Pence. She said Mike Pence looks like the kind of guy who would brush his teeth and drink orange juice and go,
Mm-hmm. He's the type of guy who makes creepy demands on the other side of the glory hole.
Yeah. Speaking of closeted gay guys,
Inman.
No. Cawthorn. I have a lot of Trump friends, unfortunately, and none of them have seen the video. I asked, "Have you seen?" And they don't even know about the video, which is kind of bizarre, don't you think? That
it's a GOP on GOP crime, so maybe they don't pay attention to it.
They just have no idea it even happened. I'm like, have you seen the video? What video? If you have to say what video, you haven't seen
the only reason I saw any of those videos was somebody reposted Madison Cawthorn's explanation of it.
Right.
They're just trying to bring me down. Number one, I'm just surprised that a guy in a wheelchair can hump like that.
Yeah.
It's like, why ain't you walking? What's going on, you fucking gold bricker? You can hump your cousin. You can maneuver your lower limbs that are not able to walk up and get your balls up into your cousin's mouth.
Yeah.
As a joke, as a fucking, what did they call it? As a he called it a crass joke.
Yeah, crass humor or something.
I'll tell you, that is crap. If I had a friend put balls in my mouth, that is one way to describe it.
Yeah, that's not a friend. I mean, Carl tried to do that to me once, and we didn't talk for at least a week after that. So
the problem with that fucking douchebag is he's just such a gross hypocrite. But that's what if everybody doesn't show up and vote one direction, the other direction, and that won't solve it. We'll still have creepy fucks, but that, like, Madison Cawthorn is just like out of fucking community college. He's got Deweys. He's a fucking driving around without a license and picking up violations, speeding and shit.
right.
And he's considered like.
And bringing
Let's
guns
just
on
go-
airplanes constantly,
Yeah,
like constantly.
Let's just go to the fucking unemployment office and find somebody to replay. Like, you don't need that level of stupid fucking entitlement in there, especially at that age. Like, the dude still it's like it's just fucking stupid, and then you get on some scroll and you see fucking big icebergs dropping into the ocean, or seeing fucking states burn up and shit, and you see these fucking boobs and nothing's happening to them. It's like, God damn it, somebody, I'll fucking commission. Well, I can't make any further statements on the matter, but God damn it, where's our John Wilkes Booth? Where's our fucking, well, and again, I'm not saying Lincoln didn't have, I don't think a lot of people know this, but John Wilkes Booth shot Abe Lincoln not for political reasons, but he shot him because Abe was gay. It was actually a hate crime.
That could be true, actually.
They talk around the theater, and John Wilkes Booth was one of those fucking snooty actors, and he probably didn't fancy no gay president.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, Madison Cawthorn, and I hate to be a stereotype people and all that, but he represents a district that is a lot of closeted hillbilly guys in North Carolina. Yeah,
Nazi leaning, but not Nazi on the what do they say in the sheets?
Yeah,
homo in the sheets and Nazi on the streets.
Yeah,
that's it. If you're not banging your cousin, you're banging some fucking minority on the noggin because he is in front of you at Starbucks or whatever.
No.
Lincoln wanted to get free all the slaves, but he wanted to keep his African American gay slaves to himself.
Yeah, Lincoln didn't have sex with his slaves, but he probably did enjoy watching them get dressed.
Yeah,
that's a funny thing about Lincoln, though. I mean, I think he was bi, or I can't imagine a worse beard than Mary Lincoln.
Yeah,
she was the Megan McCain of the day.
Yeah,
is that her name? Just kind of entitled, rich, from a proper family, and she was ugly as shit, but she was from a proper family, so she's still, but I think Abe was, because she was ugly, she had to hook up with I think they hooked up when he was a lawyer or whatever, but he was starting his political career, but I don't think he was like, I don't think everybody had high hopes that he would be president or at that time.
No.
So Mary probably, it's just kind of luck, but Mary was she was a weird lady, and she.
But you're judging by her when she was. I hear what you're saying. Believe me. But times were different. You're judging her by middle age, and heavy women were actually considered attractive in those days. So when she was young and pretty, maybe she wasn't.
Well, what I guess I base a lot of it on is that Abraham Lincoln, which is, you can look it up, had a guy that
a Marine.
And they always explain it like, well, back in the day, back in the day, Carl and Jamie would just sleep together just because they would only have the one bed and nothing happened, which I can see that. I've been married long enough to know that you can have somebody in the same bed with you and not roll over and have sex with them very often. But every once in a while, Abe's going to wake up with, the morning wood, and Joshua was right there. Look, and they wrote such nice letters back and forth that makes you believe there was a little more to it.
Of course. Yeah, no, I think it was definitely, but I don't think I think it was a lot more common then.
And they were liberal back then, going, no, We don't mind that he's freeing the slaves or he's gay.
Buchanan was president before Lincoln, and he was pretty much well known to be gay. The first gay president. They just didn't talk about it. Nobody, it's like no big thing. He likes to suck a dick, whatever.
Now it would be now back then they might have overlooked it, but now they would kill him.
Yeah.
Buttigieg is all right, but I bet
all I want to see now is a documentary about Abe Lincoln, but it's narrated by Sam Elliott. Yeah, I think his politics was great, but the gay stuff, no.
Yeah, no. Where was the dog? Sam Elliott and me saw Power of the Dog the same way. I was like, but he got angry about the gay stuff, and I got angry that there wasn't more of it. It's like, they're not going to throw a dog in the last act here. So this kid and this old man better have sex. And then instead he just kills him with anthrax. Just when you think the kid's going to get fucked, he kills the old man with anthrax on accident.
Yeah.
So watch the movie. It's not nearly that entertaining, but that's what happens.
The President series on the President's podcast series that Louis C.K. and Shane Gillis have just done. There's like 4 episodes. I've learned the most about U.S. presidential history. I think they were saying that Lincoln was happy he got shot in the head because he was forced to watch Hamilton at the theater.
Yeah.
No, he was watching a English play called Our American Cousin.
Yeah, and he'd seen it several times, and it was like nobody it was either the Lincolns were real unpopular or nobody wanted to go to that play with them, but they had to scramble to find somebody to fill the area with them. And whatever, I was going to say Booth, but it seemed wrong to say Booth since he got shot by
it is Booth. He got shot in the booth by Booth.
Yeah. With a real,
Lincoln, he left a review. They said, "What was the show like?" He said it was like a bullet to the head. And then Wilkes Booth was like, "Let's go. We can make this happen."
Here's something I think I read I know I read a book. It was Manhunt. It was about John Wilkes Booth after he shot Lincoln and his escape and everything. But and maybe this is where I got this little tidbit. But Lincoln had seen that play before. And so he was like leaning forward he liked watching the audience respond. So instead of even watching the play, he was like leaning down and watching people respond to what he knew was going to be a big line. And
maybe he just dropped his milk dud.
Yeah, it could happens. Be. So here's an interesting thing: is the guy the couple that went with the Lincolns to the thing, John, I forget their names, but he later kills his wife. Like later in he offs of the 2 people that went with him, 2 of them 2 of them got killed by assassination or murder.
Holy fuck! I didn't know that. That is interesting stuff.
And then Mary should have hooked up with that dude later. It's like we kind of.
She was still fucking batshit crazy by that time.
Yeah, I always knew your husband was kind of heavy-handed. Yeah, he stabbed her something. But yeah, I should just do like fucking. I forget most of history. I don't need to get drunk to fucking water down the. Here's another Lincoln fact: is Abraham Lincoln's his grandpa was killed by Indians in front, and one of the witnesses of it was Abe's dad.
Right.
So Abe's dad watched grandpa get shot in the head.
Yeah.
And then his son would get shot in the head. So.
And his father used to he was like a slave for his father. His father used to sell him out to rent him out. Yeah, like
wow.
That's why they said he was so against slavery because, or he wasn't really all that against slavery, but he was he was sold into servitude by his father constantly. Like you want to rent my son out for a month?
That's what happened when I went to Palo Alto. That's when I go, on those trips.
Yeah.
On my trips to California, that I was kind of in. So that's why I like Abraham Lincoln. And that's why I chucked off on what I thought was his wife's grave.
You thought
you've had 4 presidents assassinated, right?
Does Reagan count?
No.
Well, 4 killed and I think 6 attempts, and Clinton as well, right? There was an attempt
Ford had 2 attempts on his own. Twice they tried to kill Ford.
Didn't one of the presidents die in a gunfight? Like a duel?
No, the duel, but he wasn't president.
Okay. He won, and
Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and Kennedy were the four.
Right.
That
Garfield was shot
Kennedy.
like in a post office, shot
my
in the
God.
back at close range.
They got Kennedy. Yeah,
Which one?
yeah, with Ted, not Ted. Oh God, Ted was assassinatable.
Yeah.
He was like he must have felt pretty invincible being an old Kennedy.
Yeah, you know, and now there's still more Kennedys out there. There's Robert Jr. He's out there. He's a Republican though, and that's kind of the weird shit with the Kennedys, because that definitely feeds into this whole idea that both Republicans and Democrats are all working for the Illuminati or whoever this is, because Robert F. Kennedy was the chief aide for Joseph McCarthy, who was Trump's mentor. You know, he was Roy Cohn's partner in blacklisting people, and so he was completely super right wing, and then he became left wing, running as a Democrat when he got shot. So
it's just a rich man's club or rich woman's club or whatever. And like you know, the only reason Obama got to be president is they just raised so much money that they could compete with somebody who's, you know, like Trump, who's already got money pouring in or illegal. I mean, I don't think his whole thing was a scam.
yeah,
It was just like I think Trump is like the guy in Ozarks, only he used the White House as his casino. You know, the whole fucking thing was a scam.
yeah. He's just like I have friends like him who are small time Trumps that it's just one scam after another. There's really creative ways to just bilk people out of money.
Yeah, and then they you know, it's just like easy once you got them hooked. I mean, there's like any of us would do a decent job replacing a Madison Cawthorn or one of those fucking guys, but we'd need millions of dollars. You know, I mean, assuming we all lived in North Carolina, and then we'd be a little more ignorant and all, but just or it's not even ignorant. Some of them, you know, there's a lot of educated people in the South, but they choose ignorance as their fucking minor or whatever.
Yeah,
They major in whatever, but their minor is they still drag around stupid. And hey, how about the ladies, huh? They're sure getting the shaft.
Oh man.
Speaking of abortions.
Yeah. You know, this is I'm very frustrated by this, and I got into it a little bit with Kristen Becker the other day about this whole shit.
With her.
Yeah, because my position on this is I was told for the last 15 years, stay out of abortion. You don't have a right to an opinion on it. Don't shut the fuck up. You're a man. You can't even talk about abortion. Then
unless you're at church.
And then this thing comes down, and they're like, "Why are you not saying something? Why are you not on our side and backing us up here?" Well, you told me to shut the fuck up. I'm just. It's like being in a marriage where a wife tells you, "I want you to do this." You do it, and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" Like, what the fuck, man? I was on your side. You told me to shut the fuck up. You don't need me, right?
Yeah, well, I'm sure she educated you, as I'm
she
equally
sure
woke and up or whatever. But I mean, that's just where they want to that's their penetration on their rape of our rights.
Yeah,
They want to get the shaft in, and then they want to get rid of certain textbooks. Or I mean, but they don't want to get rid of textbooks because of any factual reason. They just run in scams. They just stir up these. Man, I would hate to be one of them, because it's like, you know. It's like being Inman. It's like, you know, being a Christian these days or being one of those zealots is like being Inman. You can go about your business, and then you hear something, and then all of a sudden you're ranting and waving your arms and shit, and then you got to go do it over here, and now there's these fucking Disney faggots. Let's go over then. You know, it's like it's got to be exhausting to be one of those fucking hateful fucking Christians.
Yeah.
Or whatever they are. They're not whatever they are, but it's mind-boggling to see people traipsing through mud to see these fucking idiot rallies where there's no jokes. You know,
Right.
if they show footage of it, and it's like there's nothing funny. They, you know, watching Trump double dick to you know, the Village People, it's got to be fun. You know, he has no self-awareness that he's doing a double dick jerk off to a you know, band that was pretty known for their gay They were pretty liberated, I think.
Yeah. I think he's well aware of it. His inauguration speech was "Want it painted black." I see a red door, and I want. Oh no, heart of stone. But you'll never break this heart of stone. That was his inauguration song.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's pretty well aware of the music that plays behind him. People think he's just naive about it. I think he's very cognizant of that.
Well, he knows how he want the, you know, it's like any comic with a like Stanhope, you know, he knows his crowd, he knows what his crowd will do, you know, at this point. And Trump, you know, he doesn't like his crowd, you know, either of them probably, again. But Trump, you know, Trump wants the beautiful people out there. He wants the fucking Kim Kardashians up front in the riots. But what he gets is the fucking, you know, the bowling alley crowd, the bus station, the fucking, you know, Goodwill Value Village shop. It's just the fucking low end trucker rally. You know, the people that are embarrassed. You know, you see them come in, and if you people watch, you sit back and you watch them at Cracker Barrel and you make fun of them because it's just fucking like cartoonish.
Yeah,
and that's who Trump's base is. It's like, you know, you want to, you know, if the Rolling Stones looked out and just saw morbidly obese fucking trashy people, would they still be a band?
Yeah, no, definitely not. It definitely. I always say that, like, the best gigs are when there's good looking women up front. When there's just a bunch of dudes, it's like I don't care how much they love us. I hate that shit. Yesterday, I was on the way home from my shit smelling gig.
Oh, was that recently? I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, and I'm in a deli, and there's a guy with a MAGA hat on. Now his MAGA hat is fucking stained. Like, how do you get food stains on your fucking hat? But his hat was like all disgusting. A MAGA hat. He was obese. He had stains all over himself, and he was arguing with somebody about Trump stuff. And I just said, "Excuse me, you're from Make America Great Again." You bet I am, buddy. So, well, what's your contribution going to be? Because it doesn't look like you're a contributing member of society. It looks like you're a fat, obese fucking piece of shit. he was flabbergasted. He didn't know what to say. I'm a white American. Yeah, white. If that's your contribution, you're going to be white. We got enough. We got plenty of white. What else you bringing to the table? He had nothing. Like, he obviously not working guy. He's he's on disability or whatever because he's morbidly obese and bad BO. Like, you're a representative of Making America Great Again.
Well, and it's like, what is he? You know, it's like, just accept that that's where you are. You're not going to be any happier. You're not all of a sudden going to start getting checks in the mail. And where you are, and you know, it's like you're ignoring all the problems, and you're focused on some other thing, and that ain't going to make you happy any more than that sandwich or you know, that extra scoop of ice cream does. But that's the thing. It's all these fucking people are just, you know, like, I think it got everybody stirred up. What's going on with the Supreme Court, and I feel like that kind of is gonna fuck them, because you know, even there's going to be a lot of gaudy white women who will vote along you know, because they've been wanting that for years, you know. Oh, baby, right. You know, baby murder or whatever. It's like those people have been at it for years, and they're still going to go their way. But I think they pretty much stirred up, you know, it's any guy, you know, you don't want women pissed off,
right?
And if you got to, you know, and everybody's got to live around them. So you got all the women all stirred up, and it's going to be getting, you know, as we get closer to the elections and shit, it's going to be a fucking a to-do, you know. The dudes can kind of sit back, you know, you can sit back and have dinner ready for them when they get home, and it'll be okay. But you know, try to stand in their way and tell them not to do something during this time. I'm on the sideline. I'm supportive, and you know, I'll make a sharp stick sign. Protest.
Well, here's how they could turn that around pretty quickly. Basically, I looked up the numbers yesterday. Black women abort 4 times as many as white women, and Hispanic women twice as many. So all you have to do is tell these far right wingers that if you end abortion today, in 15 years, the white people are going to be the massive minority. I mean, a small minority of America. It's going to be all black and Hispanic.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they'll be like, hey, you know what? We like abortion. Abortion is a good thing. Let's have more of that.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think you don't have TV, but a South Park where they go to the wave pool. Sub theme is everybody pees in the pool, but Cartman gets there, and then he starts to figure out. Well, he figures out eventually that he is the minority now. Like all the minorities wearing their shirts and in the wave pool, and it's like, wait, there's more of them than it is of us, and that makes you the minority.
Yeah,
and that's I hope so, man. I'd like to see poor women who grew up poor as almost all of Congress, on both sides, because it's like, that's yeah, well, but you can't. I don't know, man. They just got to get rid of the God people. It's like anybody who's like like that fucking terrible bomber chick with the 4 fucking toes on one, or her toes look like, her feet look like if her toe like, you don't want to be around something, like her toes are trying to get away from each other. It's like there's one going this way, there's 2 over here, there's one fucking leaning over that way, and she is those scary fucking she represents the scary fucking Jesus freaks that are willing to do anything, like plant bombs, which I'm more and more convinced she did.
Definitely
because of the interview she did with Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz says, brings it up, and then she does like 5 or 6 twitches, weird things, and then she doesn't deny it,
like she never heard it before. She acts like, where did that come from? Me?
Right. Yeah, and then he says, she's got an alibi, and then he says, I can't imagine her wearing a hoodie. It's not, is that funny? Is that it's like, I'll bet I could find 3 or 4 fucking hoodies in her wardrobe.
At
least. To say that somebody couldn't go get a hoodie and some big shoes or some different shoes to go plant a bomb, hell, man, if I'm gonna go do some of that shit, first stop is the Goodwill.
Craig says when Marjorie Taylor Greene walks through the mud, Bigfoot sightings go through the roof.
Man, if you made a mold of her foot and then just made it bigger.
All this has passed me by. I need to catch up. I've seen something about hairy feet or something, or 4 toes. I need to catch up. But the biggest thing for me is how did politicians convince anyone that they're cool again? Who the fuck likes any politician? Who wants anyone to be president? Are you a nerd?
Right.
What? Why are you following these people?
Fucking point.
Well, and now you can see where it's about fucking ads now, and it's about sound bites, and so it's not even like, like Jamie Raskin, for instance. He's good on interviews or whatever, but you can see where somebody could out slick him, run a anti Jamie Raskin campaign, but it's really it's become kind of like comics are finding like, oh shit, I'm not on TikTok, I guess I need to be on TikTok. It's not really the audience for comedy or whatever, but politicians now are running like they're popular people, and now they're stepping up from their community where they're popular, and they're stepping up to run, and it's like, no, it's all a fucking smoke show.
Right.
None of it's real.
Well, speaking of smoke shows, Kiara's with us. I'm gonna bring her in.
She is a smoke show. I'd say, yeah.
Happy minute. Let's bring her in here. It's a happy minute. There you are. Oh, we got a full house here.
What's this, the Brady Brunch?
We've decided what you should do with your body for the next 10 years as a group of as your elder.
Yeah, we've had a vote. We voted.
What happened was Carl and Jamie have totally ignored me for the last month. They heard Andy was going to be on. All of a sudden, I was just stopping. I was in the neighborhood. I thought I'd bring by some donuts.
They're fans of cancer. They want to see how cancer's doing.
Wow.
We want to see the evolution of a man going through cancer and chemo. We want to see the end result live.
So how are you feeling?
There we go.
Wow. Yeah. So if you look at it, well, now that Kiera's in the room, the dynamic has changed. But I was going to say Madison Cawthorn's ass has more hair than the four of us combined. But if you add Kiera to the mix, it's just about right. His ass has about the same as her head.
Got a good hair.
I got a good mob of hair. It's grey, but it's there. It's okay.
Are you going to stick with that look, Andy?
What's that?
You're going to stick with that even after chemo's done? That look?
Unless they open up the place that used to cut my hair again. I lost that, but I'm not necessarily losing my hair any more than I was, but I shave it because I don't have a proper place anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it takes so long to develop somebody who won't bother you. You sit in the chair and they know not to bug you, and you make a couple of jokes, and you get to know them, and then there's a sign up saying due to COVID that's shut, and then they just never open. So I'm not ready to go out there. Especially I got these I use pet trimmers on my head, and it's like, fuck it. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I'm already ugly, so it's like, I'm sure Mine Dog went through this. It's like, the face isn't, justified.
Been through that part.
Yeah.
I was still young and pretty when I went bald. I was 24. I thought, because they asked me that the other night. I don't know if it was you or Mikey.
Mikey did, yeah.
Yeah, he asked me how old I was when I went bald. 24, definitely 24.
Oh man, were you mad at God, or you're not a religious guy? But I'd be like, God, you fucking mad at genetics?
I think I was upset for a long time about it, and I wanted my hair back. But then after I think around 30, I kind of started embracing it. Like, you know what? This is so freaking
You can use
easy.
it as a weapon. Just aim it at people and burn them.
Also,
line it up with the sun.
I wasn't spending on shampoo. I wasn't spending hours trying to dry my hair and comb it and all that kind of crap.
Don't you need like special lotion for the scalp so it stays?
No.
It's just
I feel like you still use shampoo. You just use a smaller amount, but you just have heads. So
no, just soap. Just soap it up and rinse it off. I mean, that's it.
Wow.
It shines, and I'm Italian, so I have this natural lubricant like grease or whatever it is.
Oh, that's
oily head.
There's a guy I know. He's about I'm 36, so he's 33, 34, and he was bald quite early on in life. So about 3 years ago, he flew to Turkey to have hair transplants.
Okay.
And his head looked like a crumpet. But when his hair started to, come to fruition, the first thing he did, he had a fucking haircut. And then he spends a lot of his time wearing baseball caps. So he spent all that money, went through all that thing to fucking have the haircut and then to wear hats. What the fuck are you doing?
What are transplants like in Turkey? Do they staple ants to the head still?
His entire head looked like a crumpet.
Poor girl. Poor cat can't even get up on the bed by herself anymore.
No, he's done with that, but he's demanding. He's kind of coming back. This is a solid. He woke me up at 3 and just kind of wanted to hang out and shit.
Good.
So I got up and he wanted me to get high. He likes it when I get stoned in front of him.
He likes that.
Like Inman again.
Wow, he looks pretty healthy.
Hey, puss.
Oh, he should be my cat. Oh,
that does not look like a cat that's dying. Oh, he's talking.
He's dying?
He seems like it.
Oh, come here.
Yeah, he's 17. He's just real thin.
Oh, wow.
17.
Here's my cat.
That's
say
like
hi. Hi.
Hey,
yeah, that's a youngster.
Yeah, she's 2.
Oh, and see, he fucking asshole. He demands to come up and he wants down.
Yeah, that's like her.
Yeah. So I was speaking of I had a friend who was into the plugs. He was one of the first plug guys where they take hair from your butt and plug it into your head.
What are you talking about? You don't have enough hair on your butt.
No, not me. No, this guy Sip. He definitely had hair plugs that were spuds from his ass, and they plugged them into his head. But then they grew in like a lawn that just had little patches of grass on it, but was barren the rest of the way. So it looked really weird, just like these little one patch of hair and then another.
And you got ass hair on your head.
Yeah, I hope they made him use the bidet before they done the transplant.
Yeah,
had shit in his head.
Yeah, little shit particles and stuff. That's nasty.
Yeah.
You didn't use it. You didn't try it, did you?
No, I was one of the first guys. Well, not one of the first guys. I was when in my 20s, like soon after I went bald, I did the hair club for men thing.
Okay.
And you know what that is? They
No.
take a pantyhose, the crotch of a pantyhose, they fit it on your head, then they get it perfect to your head, and then they sew hair into that,
Wank you.
and then they glue it to your head with crazy glue. And but your natural exfoliation will make that come loose after a while. So every 6 weeks you got to go back. They color it, they touch it up, add more hair if any fall out, and crazy glue it to your head.
All
And
right.
that lasted
it's
about
like
3 or 4 months where I said, this is fucking
That's the men's hair club.
That's what it was then. It's kind of a they still
And aren't
have
you
those
breaking rules talking about what happens at the men's hair club?
I'm free of that contract for about 40 years now. I'm pretty cool with that. Fuck them.
I'm all for it. If women can have weaves, if they could have fake hair and fool men should have weaves too.
Well, now they have this the kind of radiation or whatever the hell. It's not like chemo radiation, but whatever it is, they are able to grow real hair back on men's bald scalps. But it's too late for somebody like me. But that's the thing now. So those hair clip, crazy glue in the pantyhose to your head.
Wouldn't you like to add a full head of hair to your bucket list before you die? All of a sudden, you got Elvis hair.
No, it's too much work. It's too much work, man. And constantly having to worry about how's my hair? How's my hair? Fuck that. My hair's perfect.
Doesn't that mean you have like a lot of testosterone? I thought that contributed to hair loss. Like you're very manly.
That's what bald guys like to.
Yeah, it's like a solar panel for a sex machine.
Yeah. If I had that much testosterone, I'd have hair on my chest. My chest is like.
Oh yes. Oh, you're all bare now. Wow.
Yeah.
You're like
you're manscaping your chest.
No, I just
Not
never had any hair on my. I got like a little peach fuzz right here, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're like Madison Cawthorn. Yeah, what was that? Was that part of the play? Because I only watched it once, or I watched it twice because somebody mentioned his hair, and then it looked like a squirrel tail up his ass.
Kiara, do you know the video we're talking about?
No.
All right, this politician from North Carolina, congressman.
Wheelchair bound.
He's wheelchair bound. He's 27, the youngest congressman ever elected.
Because of his remarkable talent for being
he's very
complete douche.
He's very right wing. In other words, he's against gay marriage. He's against gay people and all. But then he said he was invited to a cocaine orgy by Matt Gaetz, and which turned the entire Republican Party against him. So they started dripping out. First, they dripped out images of him in like Frankie Goes to Hollywood to S&M gear. And then they put out another video of him making out with a guy, and that guy turned out to be his cousin.
Wait, yes. I know who he is, but I didn't see.
Phenomenal.
And then the most recent video is he's in bed and totally butt naked, even though his legs don't work. He flips over like a dolphin, kind of, and then you see a head pop up, and that's his cousin's head, and he starts fucking the guy's face.
Oh my gosh!
Because I think there's somebody saying, or he put his balls in, it's like it's real juvenile, but it's also, doesn't. I don't know. To me, it's like that shouldn't disqualify him. What should disqualify him is most of what he said. Right. But like for somebody to be the youngest congressman, don't you think that should be like a national contest winner or some extremely talented guy instead of a rich douchebag, put himself in a wheelchair?
Yeah, he's kind of like the Bert Kreischer of politics. He's just a guy who gets by on just promotional shit rather than quality of content. He's a good self-promoter. I don't know.
Takes his shirt off. Well, he stepped in for Mark Meadows, so I think it was like a quick runoff, but it's just it's pathetic to see the fucking people who make it onto Congress when there's so many talented, smart people with science backgrounds, with all kinds of backgrounds that are actually would be good at it, but would never run. And we should just like nominate people to run that are talented instead of these fucking stooges that
they don't want the job. If you're worth your salt, you don't want the job. It's even though you can make lots of money in it really quick. Anybody who has any decency in their soul at all doesn't want to be in politics, because you do have to, the minute you get elected, they tell you, you know, you're gonna have to compromise yourself. You're gonna give up some of your principles to be a party player. Or
glad handing and then taking bribes from lobbyists and playing that game right for 2 years. But it is nice to be able to bully someone in a wheelchair for once, because normally we give them a place close to the store. But if you can actually call one a piece of shit and kink shame him, I'm in.
If I were president, I would have a gladiator-style contest between the wheelchair governor from Texas and Madison Cawthorn. One of them gets to be, not dead, and then the two of them just fight it out. Wheelchair douchebags.
That's terrible. Oh my gosh.
Or they go down a fucking extremely high ramp, and they got like a Frogger situation. You just send buses, and then they got to get between the buses. That would be fun too.
Wow! Wow!
Hey, lady, they're anti-abortion.
All right, let me get to Kiara's news and let her go. So we have dog news this morning, don't we?
Yes, I sent the clip.
All right, I'm going to play the clip, but first, before we play that clip, I have to play my dog news clip. Why does he have to play the dog news clip? Let me find that clip that you sent me this morning. Oh, I have it up here. Share screen. No, stop.
Hi, kitty. That's not the same kitty. That's a different kitty.
Yeah.
There's a dog?
Dog.
That's dog news. Dog news.
So sorry. I don't have my glasses.
All right. Yeah, so how do I can make this full screen here now, right? There you go. All right, you want me to hit play?
Oh, no, let me explain before we...
Okay.
This is from Good News Network. We can watch the moment of rescue for a little dog trapped down a hole and missing for days, I believe 56 hours. Flossie the Pooch suddenly vanished from her home in Devon, England, and several days went by before anyone heard anything. On Monday, this woman posted a plea on Facebook telling friends and family to keep an eye out. Finally, on Thursday afternoon, Flossie was located, but she was stuck down a rabbit hole in a neighbor's garden. And this is the video. So she was in there for a very long time. I don't know how they found her in the...
How does this guy even know to dig there? It seems staged a little bit.
You think they threw her in the hole?
That would suck if they staged this thing. They made the dog go in this hole. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking rough.
I mean, but because he started digging before he could have possibly known she was actually down there, right? That's weird.
I mean, how did somebody just walk around and maybe she was barking or something?
And now he's got that flagpole from the January 6th thing.
Yeah, that's what he's got. He's got the QAnon shaman pole.
Yeah.
That's fucking, that's... So
actually, it's in England. I guess it's by you, Jamie. It's just north of you. That's where it is. It's just right over. Yeah.
There he is. He made it.
Wow.
He made it.
All right. Let me get rid of that stupid dog news. Oh wait, Andy's back over here. What happened to Andy?
A hug.
No,
there's your other dog. The other dog set him up.
All right.
Wow.
So yeah, it did seem strange. It did seem staged a bit, and I don't like that. If it was staged, that's fucked up.
I hope it's not staged. I hope it's good news.
Yeah.
Let's go with good news, just to end the day on a high. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
So Jamie,
and then it's like not even good news. Maybe it may be terrible news that somebody's going around burying puppies.
Yeah, now it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be the Fed. Everybody's just like throwing their dogs in rabbit holes to get attention.
Yeah, we did the story like a month ago about the dog stuck in the gopher hole.
Gopher hole.
So, it's a thing. It's coming.
Yeah. We got a groundhog who this morning he was standing up kind of strapping his stuff at me.
No.
Yeah.
We have groundhogs on Long Island? Get out of here.
Yeah. They're also called whistle pigs. But
whistle pig.
I have never seen a
whistle
gopher.
pigs because they make this high pitched screech. When they run away, it sounds like a whistle, like a missile. So,
I've never seen one on Long Island.
All right, I'll let you.
Do you think
I'll let you go.
That complained about Bill Murray on set?
Yeah. Well, we'll say
Thanks,
goodbye to
Kiara.
Kiara.
Very happy.
She'll be back on the next hour. Say
We're gonna
goodbye,
go back to wheelchair face fucking. Thanks.
Are you
Yeah.
Are you bringing up the Bill Murray?
Yeah.
I only just found out.
What? Ba, 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 ba. That's funny, Carl. You're talking, and it said you were muted, but I could still hear you talking, which is beautiful. I like that because I don't like when I play the video clip that it mutes everybody.
Technology.
I
No, I
like
saw
Andy.
Jamie's tweet about Bill Murray the other day, still liking him, and I was like, I didn't know because I've been missing news, and I just caught up with it yesterday. But you know, I'm not even gonna read about it.
Yeah, the stuff. Yeah, you can go down and find out that Bill Murray isn't as wonderful as we'd all hoped.
Who is?
But here's the thing: neither is Fred Savage. Are you willing to accept that Fred Savage? He got fired from Wonder Years for being, it's weird when like a lot of TV people have been tossed or brought. It's like this behavior that you used to get away with or whatever. But it's like fucking Kevin Arnold's a douchebag.
I have a weird kind of connection to Fred Savage.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna find out why he's a douchebag.
No, the whole mole thing from Austin Powers when he was the mole. I got him. Yeah. It's the reason for the mustache is to cover up the mole. But the character he played on the Wonder Years was actually me. No, that sounds a little bizarre. The guy who played his father on the show, Dan Lauria, was a very important part in developing that show. Mm-hmm. He was like an older brother to me. He lived right behind me. I grew up with him, and he was like he was my father's godson. But the role of the father on that show, Danny played, was kind of based on my father a little bit with his, with just his attitude and the telescope and all that kind of stuff. And the Wonder Years, that's I was exactly the age, of that stuff. He was a Long Island kid, grew up a Jets fan and all that stuff. So that's me. That was my character that he was playing in that fucking movie.
That's a tenuous link. Come on.
Yeah. So Kevin Arnold went bald. Did you have a Winnie Cooper?
I did have a Winnie Cooper. Yeah, I sure did. And I knew it right from like second grade. Annette Donardo was my Winnie Cooper, and I used to. I actually became friends with her brother just to hang out with her, and kind of one of those things where kids stuff tricked her into thinking I was asleep. So, and she's like trying to wake me up, and she kissed me one of those Snow White moments or whatever.
It sounds better when Daniel Stern says it.
Yeah, I know. He's a better narrator. But so I've always had this kind of, and my friend Johnny, he died a few years ago. He was in a movie, independent movie with Fred Savage, and I was kind of helping him try to get some distribution on that. So there's kind of a connection there between me and Fred the pervert. So I'm sad to hear he's a pervert. Do you think he?
I don't know that it was pervert. It sounded like bullying.
Oh yeah,
almost like
Okay.
That's what it sounded like. Like he
quick, yeah.
Oh, inappropriate behavior just always comes off.
Oh, here's what it was: is some production person brushed dandruff off his shoulders, and he hit her on the arm 3 or 4 times, like probably punched, like Kevin Arnold would punch his buddy on the arm. And knock it, but it's like that kind of thing. Same with Bill Murray. It's like he just would lose his temper and intimidate usually women, or a woman would be frightened by the display. Whereas I mean, guys have all seen each other freak out and throw shit around and stuff. But women, if they're in this space, might feel like it's directed towards them. Yeah. I'm making excuses for Bill Murray because I do love all his stuff, but that's what it sounded like with Bill Murray. It's not like
I want
he was Bill Murray. Just an aggressive individual. He's just Bill Murray just doing his shit, and obviously a woman took serious offense, and now it comes to the fucking limelight of public consciousness. And
right, and then when one breaks, when one sticks, and all the other ones come out, where it was like, he was a douche to me, or this happened here, and anybody.
It's too late. It's too late for me to dislike Murray as well. I love everything he's done, and unless it's Cosby level stuff, And even that, I could still watch a rerun of the Cosby Show if it comes on, just for the nostalgia.
Well, now you watch it for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like that barbecue sauce. It makes
just gonna say one barbecue sauce one. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Or his old Spanish fly bit in his albums was a pretty telling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never was a fan of the Cosby Show, but Cosby's albums early in the day I thought were, especially.
I want to go back and listen. I want to go back and listen to those, because I probably heard one of them, but I want to go and just, even if it's contextually weird now, go back and listen to see.
He's just kind of a family storyteller, right? Most of, or his later stuff, but not all the, that's the. I hope he does get back into comedy, or if he's.
I think he's got one more YouTube special in him.
I would like to hear him just be completely unplugged and do, it's like, probably mess around with some of them ladies or something, it's just like, just to go, let's be on, like totally own it and be, that would be like, it wouldn't be for everybody, but it would be like, I'd listen to it because it's like listening to John Wayne Gacy or anybody talk about their crimes.
Cosby would sell serious tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just one show.
Oh and he could have OJ open for him.
Yeah, OJ could come out and do the Aristocrats.
Hello, Twitter world.
The Aristostabbers.
We can get Eddie Murphy then to do another good Bill Cosby bit as well.
You could do an Outrage-a-Palooza and have Louis C.K.
Carl's going to say I'm a rapist defender, but on the Cosby stuff, I have to say, and I know I get in trouble for this, in the 70s, what he was doing was common. It was common, slipping women a Quaalude to have sex. I don't know anybody who never did that. I don't know anybody who
now
never
we're
did
hearing
that
from Kevin Arnold.
I can see the link.
Yes,
the blurry years.
I'm telling
the wonder years.
Right. But
you didn't.
On the same note, like we were taking them ourselves, so you'd all get fucked up. Like you'd give the girl a Quaalude, and you take a Quaalude, and before you know it, like you didn't even know.
That's getting fucked up and fucking right. That's kind of. But yeah, I'm perfectly aware that in times gone by.
You weren't slipping them a Quaalude without them knowing it. They would gladly take it, but you knew where it was leading. Well, take a Quaalude and I take a Quaalude. There's no chance we're not fucking.
That was Half's game too. Half would just open the drawer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a little nervous about because I'm a creepy old man that you feel like could help. It's like they're nervous, so he goes, "Here, have one of these," and then he would. They'd take it, but they didn't know what was in store for them.
Well, that's the whole problem with like "Baby, It's Cold Outside," right? Where people try to ban that because some of the lyrics like, "Wait, what's in my drink?" Don't worry about it.
Right,
come in.
Right. Well, that's again, and I know I'm not defending Bill Cosby. I'm not. But he grew up in an area where they used to call it slipping a Mickey. It was a common thing. Slip them a Mickey, Mickey Finn. And you hear it mentioned in old black and white movies. Must have slipped me a Mickey. That was exactly the thing. They would drug people and slip stuff in their drinks, and it was common behavior. So if you grow up with that, it sounds.
That would even I guess I grew up. That those were probably not around anymore or whatever. But it's like those kind of even, it's like the whole thing of trying to get laid back then. You meet, especially like we're like going out trying to get laid, or that's our hope or whatever. And the whole thing is you're a fucking bad salesman trying to land a sale, at any not at any cost, but you beg, whine, cry, or whatever manipulative thing. But if you had to just go, this isn't working, but you want to take a pill. Right. And then all of a sudden you're fucking them. It was like, so you grow up with that. It kind of stunts you from, you have to be a better salesman and you have to have a product that they want. And maybe that's the whole thing of you can't make a sale until you believe in the product.
If you go back to 1960s Playboys, I guarantee you will find ads, maybe not Playboy, but Hustler definitely, for Spanish Fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they were in the
look at one
back
these.
of.
You're guaranteed to get laid. Spanish
I think
Fly.
you'd find them in the back of Mad magazines too. I mean,
Yes,
there was something that I ran across that you could get drugs to rape women or sea creatures.
Right.
Which
And-
I went with the sea creatures, and I guess I picked wrong because those things did not develop at all.
And they sold X-ray glasses to kids so that they could see through women's clothes.
Right? Yeah. Those didn't work neither.
To
Damn it.
kids in comic
Mhm.
books. In the back of the comic book, you would get.
Yeah, I remember stuff like that, and then I'm sure you could buy mirrors for the shoe cap and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were all just kind of like, like the guy with the trench coat, it's just an accepted part of that culture. It's like, oh, okay, that's a joke. Is a guy walking around with a trench coat exposing it, which that's a weird crime there. It's like, see my junk? All right, have a good day.
And yeah,
Mommy, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, that's a sales pitch.
Yeah, no, I wonder if that's completely gone away, because there were guys arrested for it, just driving around showing their junk. Not too long ago here on Long Island, some guy was driving the expressway and pulling up to women and just like jerking off in the car next to them and all that kind of stuff. But
that still happens. That stuff still happens.
Yeah, you got to have cruise control.
Yeah, it was a company that I'll say used to work for this company. So I still do, but there was one of the company vans. Someone was going through a country lane, and they sort of reversed, and the passenger got his phone out and was recording something. And it was the company I worked for. One of their vans was parked up just off the lane, and it was one of the workers there in the branding clothing, and he was wearing high heels, and he was just pumping one out in the fucking in the lanes.
Wow.
And that got spread around the news quite quickly as well. It was a fun moment because it was going around the office like wildfire, and we was all sort of being reprimanded. Oh, you're not to discuss this with anyone. You're not to talk about this with anyone. It's on the fucking internet. People are seeing this shit.
Wow.
It was a fun moment.
Do you think there'll be a correlation between the rise in Tesla sales and people going around knocking one out?
Just knocking one out, yeah. It was
oh my goodness. That's
good moment in my life.
Yep. You know what? Can you guys hold down the ship for a second while I go get a fresh cup of coffee?
Let's go for it.
All right, I'm going to go get a fresh cup of coffee. I'm going to take myself out. You guys hold it down for me.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Go ahead. We won't say anything bad. Right. Thanks. Bucky's gone. First of all, Andy, help us. He's been keeping us hostage, and he's basically fucking us at this point.
Yeah. Oh my God. I noticed you were trying to sing. You're not in Brazil. You're not in Brazil. You're in different parts of his basement. That fucking monster.
Matt Nappo managed to gaslight an entire nation of lovers.
Somebody call Winnie Cooper. This guy's dangerous. He's
a bad man. You think Gatesy's crawl space was fucked?
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't want to see what's in Mine Dog's basement. And don't ask for a hamburger either.
Yeah,
and there's no way that mustache isn't dyed, right? Come on, he hasn't got a jet black tash, and that's the only hair on his body.
I'm gonna smoke some medical use. This won't give you cancer.
How was the ice bong thing going?
We've had some technical problems with it, and
I did the last podcast I saw you on. You was complaining about that.
Yeah, it is kind of it needs a stand like a caddy. I keep half of it in a coffee cup, but it's like so you have to. It's like being a fucking Marine. You have to disassemble your rifle and everything. And I got a side effect from chemo where I can't touch cold stuff, especially the week after. It's just so I gotta grab it, and it's like so I need gloves and shit. Like I'm handling the Stanley Cup trophy.
Nice.
Wow. Wake and bake. I'm a wake and bake kind of guy.
Wake and bake.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I've been hitting it at a high rate lately. I've been,
Well,
you earned it though. You've earned it.
I had this shit that I've been getting from the dispensary forever, and it made me not want to smoke weed. And then the other night, I was at this guy's house, and he had all these plants growing in his house, and he gave me some weed that. On the way to the gig the other night, I smoked a joint for the first time because I've been smoking pipes. I haven't smoked a joint, and I can't remember how long. And it was just like, that's what I'm missing now. I feel like a pot smoker. I feel like I'm doing it right now. And now I got all excited about it. And then yesterday I got up first thing in the morning and started, this is my thing. This is what I do. I love waking and baking.
I like mixing edibles in the morning or having it. So I wanted to ask you this, Mind Dog, that company that sent you edibles, did they have non-sugar shit or is it all just candies and stuff?
No, they have non-sugar stuff.
Yeah.
And they have some good stuff too. What is it? I forget what beef jerky they have.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
How did they get the animal stoned before they kill it?
I think those Bowerburst bars come sugar-free too, but man, that was like a week-long hallucinogen thing for me. That was he's going to be on Wednesday, Big T. I'll talk to him about the product line where I can get it.
Because it's like I don't necessarily need sugar treats and shit, but like crackers and stuff. They don't really sell that stuff here. It's like they assume anyone who wants to do an edible is also wants to do a sugared gummy or a cookie.
I think it's to cover up the because THC, pure THC, I think can taste a little like rank if you just don't cover it up with something. So I think they're just looking for some kind of flavor that would be strong enough.
Yeah, even some cakes and brownies I've had, you can really taste it. It's just making it sweet and friendly, right?
Kat and Steve make their own edibles. And I was talking to them at the Stanhope show about this. But basically, you got to melt it down to get the oil out of it or something. And I was like, you know what? I buy an ounce of weed. I'd be really paranoid about wasting it and trying to get the oil out of it. And like, I'm going to do it wrong. I'm going to waste a $400 ounce of weed or something. But
I'll send you some Bad Batch. I still got jars of it.
Yeah. Are you growing weed this year?
I got 3 that are coming up from seed, but I'm already fucking up. It's like I left it out in the rain. It's just all soaked and shit. It's just like I just don't think there's any point in growing weed for me because it's not going to turn out as good as what I like.
It's the after you pick it that is where guys like you and I fuck up. I think it's like. I don't know. It still tastes like homegrown. It's not dried out the right way. I don't know what I'm supposed to do after you kill the plant.
Right. Well, and then last year I had some plants that budded early, and then I thought they were male, and I pulled them out of the ground, and it turns out those were just early. Those were the best. Those were the ones that were growing big fat buds, and I fucked those up. I stunted them, and So it's I got to hold. It's like when you can tell somebody's got bad weed because a year later they're like, "Hey man, do you want some weed?" And they'll give you a big garbage bag full of weed.
Yeah,
and it's just fucking junk.
Yeah.
No, I had a kid who tried to sell me some. This kid was my can guy. He was getting cans of super weed from that Smart Bud. Get me that from California, and then all of a sudden he ran out and he said, "I got some good weed." And I went over there and he brought out this huge thing, and I was like, "This is fucking homegrown, man." Oh, but it's made from the best seeds, and we grown from the best seeds. And I was like, "No, you're not doing something right here, man, because this is just like dank."
I don't know how long weed, unless you preserve it somehow, but I think I don't know. It doesn't have a long shelf life, right? Isn't it like 2 or 3 months for outdoor weed that it's still.
And some guys, they hang it and it gets all moldy and shit, and that's not good. You don't want to be smoking mold. I don't know.
Tommy Chong's philosophy. Didn't Tommy Chong say there's no such thing as bad weeds?
That's what he did say. And Jackie told me that he, it's weed. It's just, he grows, man. It's the easiest thing in the world. And he grows like, pounds every year. But some guys, I guess, have a green thumb. I don't. I can't do it right.
Yeah, Jim Belushi, or is it? Jim Belushi grows out here in Oregon, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got a big fucking farm, isn't he?
Yeah, I assume it's probably a little south of here, but I haven't been to it yet.
I think he has tours there. I would go there.
Yeah, I would go. I know my nephew has been to it, so I think it's down towards where I grew up.
Joe?
Yeah, Joe's ran into him.
I told Joe I wanted to have him on the show. Several people asked, you got to get Joe on there. I bet you he's got some stories. I think they want him to spill dirt about you. Like
yeah, I don't know. He would just be all like, you know. I don't think he has any real stories. Well, no, he does. I mean, I think he's seen me throw tomatoes at homeless people and homeless. Let me explain now. It sounds bad, but this guy.
Let me explain.
And I don't know that he was homeless, but he was a bum, and he was in the grocery store, and he was like doing shit like, you know, you'd be horrified if you saw, like putting his hand in his pants and then grabbing, you know, like just doing shit, like, you know, Tootsie rolling, you know, putting his hand down the back of, you know, he was poking into meat, like fucking meats with his dirty ass fucking. And I saw him do this whole thing, and then I was just like, I got a big fucking tomato, a couple of big tomatoes, and then I waited for him outside. I had my nephews, and I go, you know, I don't plan this stuff, but I go, something has to be done here. And so I got 2 big tomatoes, and I waited for him, and I walked by him, and I go, hey man, thanks for fucking up the grocery store for me. And I hit him in the back of the head with a tomato, and then I, you know, like the knife gun guy, I had, you know, I didn't, you know, I don't know why I needed the second tomato in case I missed from point blank range, but the tomato exploded on his head because I mashed him a little bit to get him soft before he come out. My nephew's like, what are you going to do? I go,
wow,
stay back and let me deal with this.
Well,
it felt like it was the right thing to do, but that guy was probably mentally ill. I didn't turn him in. I just handled it like, you know, you fucked up that, you know, you're going to.
Yeah, but
anyway,
the bad part about that is that I could never go back because now that's the guy you saw, but you got to imagine that you're not there now. Somebody's there right now doing
that's a pretty sick, mentally ill move. And I think it was the Grateful Dead was in town or something like that. There was a reason why I was probably a little more conservative back then. So the Deadheads coming to town and putting their dirty ass finger in me just kind of set me off wrong. Nowadays I'd just be like, yeah.
Sean says he's working on the Stephen Cat recipe as we speak. The butter thing, making butter out of it.
Yeah, the butter is the thing, but it's like it doesn't have to turn into a treat. I like to, you know, I think it's even cooler to just get high off of a cracker.
Well, there you go. That's not sugar. It's Dorito and corn chips infused with weed.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
But I already got cancer, so I don't know what I'm worried about. Maybe I should eat more sugar.
Diabetes ain't gonna fucking do any harm.
I thought you don't have cancer. You had cancer.
Right. I got it cut out of me.
There you go.
It's amazing you can get cancer cut out of you, but you can't have a baby cut out of you in America.
Right. Yeah, I want the government to tell me how to proceed.
How's it going with your recovery?
I think I'm all right. It's just like, you know, I leaned into, like, today is a good day. We're going to record issues. And then I go in tomorrow morning and get hooked up to the sick machine, the drip. And I just don't feel right. You know, it's hard to really explain. It's just like bracing to have the flu for a few days. But it's worse than that because the sick fucking chemicals drip into me. And then it's just, you know, starts over again. But each week, I feel like my recovery is, you know, like I have days where I feel sort of normal. I had friends from Canada visit, and we went, and I even had morning drinks. And but a couple days, you know, when they left, I slept for 2 days. So it's kind of like I'm kind of starting to lean into not caring what time it is. Like I go to sleep at 6 in the evening and be up at 3 in the morning. You know, I just basically hanging out with pets.
I've been that way since COVID. You know, the clock doesn't matter to me anymore. I know I have to do a show on time, but as far as being asleep or awake I don't care. Whatever feels right, I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Make your crawl space.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I should be getting so much more done, but also that, you know, it's like it's not what I'm into right now. All you know, if I were trying to write comedy or anything, it's just I'm not in a good headspace for really doing much besides, you know.
Well, I want to put you on the
This.
spot with that for a second here.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to see Billy Wayne Davis in Brooklyn on Sunday night, and we were goofing around a little bit because he said he wanted to do a show in Bisbee, and then I said maybe put a show together, you and Andy down there, and they was, oh, that sounds great, and we'll invite friends and all this stuff, and I put out a date like end of August because I know it'd be after your birthday and after you were done with COVID. Is that still a possibility in your mind or no?
Yeah, if Billy's into that, I would do that because I want to ease into, like, I mean, I feel like I would just suck ass trying to do comedy at the moment. Like I just
Right.
but if I had something towards the end of everything and go, okay, well, Billy's going to handle the show. And if I can do 20 to 30 minutes of just, you know, or whatever it turns out
Plus,
to
if
be.
it was in Bisbee, you'd get like Christine Levine. You get some guest
Right,
stars
like,
in there.
that's what I would like to do. You know, that's if, you know, that's how I'm gonna start doing comedy again if I, you know, when that time comes, because I'm not going to be able to go, yeah, I've got a new hour and it's
Right.
all about this or whatever. It's like I have not, you know, nothing to base anything on because I haven't been able to do comedy where you go, okay, this sort of works and you can build on that or whatever and kind of grow it. Instead, it's like, you know, I'm not going to be a complete act for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like Inman. You know, you might get 10 good minutes and then I might cry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are there 10 good minutes in Inman, really?
I don't know. I was real curious if him and Lipsky did that gig.
Yeah,
but it sounds like that didn't turn out to be anything.
I think it was a non-gig. From what I understand, and I could be wrong about this, I think zero people showed up. Zero.
Right. Well, and proving once again that Inman's wrong about you know, people's desire to see some sort of unbookable show.
Like, well, he didn't really promote it, though, to be fair. And no, I agree that, you know, the Unbookable's name is not going to book any. It proves that they are truly unbookable. But he didn't really do anything.
Right, like Lipsky's going around touring, just getting on to shows when he can and stuff. And that he's not using the Unbookables thing or whatever to go. You know, I think I don't know where Travis is on how much he's performed, but he's probably not that dissimilar to me, where it feels like kind of going back to something that, I mean, you know, it's like, I guess I got injured and taken out of it or whatever, but I'd took a break after I did the recording. And then that led to a longer break, which led to, you know, COVID and then cancer. And now it feels like, you know, I'm
COVID, cancer, and chemo.
When I get out on the comedy stage, I'll be like a fucking hobbled Joe Theismann trying to get back in after his leg broke, or, you know, about fucking hobbled. I can't roll out.
Yeah,
I'll just be doing like handing off and throwing short passes for a while.
Yeah, but you definitely have to do it because you can't let that last gig you did be the last gig you do.
Well, yeah, if I could eliminate that one and just go, because I did a few minutes in front of Billy Wayne, when he was in Eugene, and then then I went and got blackout drunk, and it was like I was just standing at a table, and there was other tables. There was about 8 people in there, and then there was a strip club next door, so strippers were coming in, and loud chatting at the bar. Shit, I had to keep talking louder to talk over them at some point, and then blacked out and fell on the sidewalk, and just, you know, but I didn't know how fucked up I was my liver was all fucked up. So doing, you know, but it's just like, I mean, that's almost like a fitting way to end. Totally. Except I should, you know, like end on the sidewalk, and that's it. And the rest of this has been a dream sequence. I'm actually dead on the sidewalk in front of Falco's. And this is all just a kind of a quick firing. It seems like it's going a long time, but in my brain, it's just like seconds. Here comes the ambulance. Is that a stripper?
Yeah. Just a quick thought. Speaking of Inman and the Unbookables, if the deep state do a JFK on Inman, would you guys get together and do like he was a great guy, the Unbookables are here to unite and do
shows with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the
He
right
takes him out. You
circumstances,
guys
but
got to do a
let's do a 4 days in Reno, James. Like something like that. We'll just work a couple of nights. We'll just get like Reno. I say Reno because it's cheaper than Vegas, and I would like hang out with James on a neutral site and not have to travel a bunch or whatever, But I would like different room or whatever. We could podcast. I don't know. He just yells so much.
Yeah, Inman is out of my life forever. You were the one who brought him into my life, and now he's gone forever, and I feel good about it. I mean,
but you may let him back in again, and then he'll.
I won't. I promise you, I won't. I'm not very good. It's not like I hold a grudge or I'm angry at him. I can't take.
Yeah.
The inability to just talk.
Right. That's his. Yeah, he did that here. He said he came to visit me, and he ends up yelling in my ear.
Oh my God!
On the whole thing because he just can't chill. I was like, I've never been around somebody who needs to smoke pot more than Inman. I don't think it's ever been his thing, but it's like, just trust me on this, dude.
And all the crazy stuff. I mean, I know lots of people who just lie all the time, so I could put up with the lying stuff. But the craziness of it. I spent some time in a Buddhist monastery, and like, oh come on, no, you didn't. You watched the fucking video on YouTube, dude. Come on.
Yeah. It's like the 4 o'clock because me and Carl do frequent podcasts, and we go up and we just talk a lot of shit. But when we had Inman on the podcast, I think me and Carl spoke about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he gets himself wound up.
Yeah, he just let loose. We just didn't know. We just couldn't.
It was quite patronizing. I'd say something. He's like, "What's that? Oh yeah, okay," and then he'd tell us another fantastical story about going to the FBI about terrorists or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess to answer the question, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
This is just like he was in my house. I had 2 people visit or 3 people visit, 2 the Canadians and then Inman. Inman was exhausting, and we didn't really even do anything. He just fucking wore me out just being here, and then left. And I felt worse than when he got there. When the Canadians left, I was tired, but I'd had a great visit with friends. Or Inman was just kind of here to hijack the podcast, I think.
Yeah, that's what really more than anything made me just like want to distance myself from James, because when you first posted the picture that he was out there, I was like, that's a friend who goes out and just checks on his friend. And then like a week later when he was on the podcast, it dawned on me, it's like, oh, this motherfucker, this is all about him. He didn't give a shit about Andy. He wanted to be on the podcast. This was his
that's what I came up with is it's like he didn't ask, and when he was here he didn't go, hey, how's this, there's no personal touches to any conversation we had, that he wanted to know stuff about why do you have that chair over, or just stupid stuff. And then he's like, I have a mailbox out sitting on a table that willy-nilly sent me, copper, and he goes, what's in that? Like, so you busted me. That's where I keep all my cocaine.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's like a child asking stupid questions. And mommy has cancer. What? Make me a snack, mommy. Or he's just like doesn't understand.
Not the act of a friend. A friend comes and say, "What do you need? What can I do for you?" How do you feel? Any of that stuff? No, let me. I'm here to be on your podcast. Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, it was exhausting, and I think he was probably only here about 6 hours.
Yeah, with the other guys, Chilean crew, completely surprised when he fucking.
Oh yeah.
You didn't tell them, did you?
I felt instantly bad about it, but it had to be done that way. It was the only way it would. If I would have warned those guys, they would have said, and I felt like, man, this couldn't have ended our podcast, me doing this to those guys. But fortunately, they I think everybody understood that it was inevitable. The fucking guy showed up.
Howard Stern would have been like telling you that that's the best possible podcast you could have done. Even as uncomfortable it was for everybody. for the audience, you could see the uncomfortableness of it, and it was like the most compelling thing. Like I couldn't.
Right. Well, and I felt
One of the
bad
few
for
I
people.
sat through the entire thing at one sitting instead of like taking a break or anything.
It's and I felt bad for people who listen to it for certain, it's like 4 people who get along having fun, and then this one's not that. This one is we have a leaf blower going the whole time
Yeah,
while we're trying to talk.
Just going through
I actually enjoy because Greg Shelley had his
He's
animus
got a big
for
thing for him,
James Inman. He couldn't be more obvious about that. He has a disdain for this guy, like this lying.
Yeah. Well, everybody who's had a longer history with him, and Chaley especially, because he's had to work with him, I guess. But like, well, even up till when Inman, like it was like 20-30 minutes before the podcast, and like James wasn't going to be able to listen in because we needed a splitter for the mic. And I go, I ain't got one, James. And then I told him a place that was quite a ways away. And he goes, what about, he was on the, this new Inman, he's like searching his phone, and I think he goes, what about this place? I go, yeah, but I didn't think that place would have one. And I thought if he just went out this way, and I thought maybe we could get through the podcast before he came back. But damned if that fucking guy didn't show up with a splitter like 15 seconds before,
There's one in Seattle, James. You can go.
Yeah, it's like when they show a bomb about to go off, and then they defuse it. Right, the Inman got here, put that split on there, put the headphones on, and then we were, it was call time was like 4 minutes away or something. It was crazy. I was like, even up to that point, I was still trying to get him out of here.
Batman on the table with the saw coming at him. Well, tune in next week.
You can get a splitter in Ukraine where the Russians are liberating Ukrainian people, and man, you can go there.
Yeah. He's just like, the way he just sits down is just work.
Yeah.
Like he fucking plunked down on my old bench, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll throw that out. It's I need to put a sign that says, weight capacity is this, and also sit with care, but he throws himself down towards a chair instead of just sitting. That's his whole problem with him.
I found a great way to piss him off, because just before he came on, I watched The Unbuckables a couple of years ago, and just before he came on the podcast, I thought, I'll rewatch it. It turns out it was on YouTube, so I shared the link, and he was like, he messaged me, he said, you can't share that, I'm going through a legal thing now with YouTube, blah blah blah. So I took that fucking link down for his sake. A couple of weeks back then, I had a little bit to drink, and I thought I want to watch The Unbuckables again just for the fun of it, and I shared it and tagged him in it specifically to say, Inman, look, it's still available on YouTube. And within fucking minutes he messaged me fucking wow, what are you doing, dude? You can't be doing this. I told you before, I'm going through a legal thing. And I said, James, I'm just firstly promoting The Unbuckables for free. Secondly, I'm raising awareness that YouTube still have it up. So I'm doing 2 things for you, pro bono. And he was just like, no, it's not cool, man.
Yeah. He doesn't have ownership of it.
No.
So why is he? I think that's bullshit too. I don't think he's going through any legal. He don't want people watching the original uncut version of the original cut because he's not the star of it.
You can watch it on Comedy Dynamics, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
I couldn't get through it, man. I could not get through it.
I watched. Well, I didn't watch the second version because I'd already been burnt out on watching the first version a bunch. But when the second version came out, it's like, well, there's a bunch of things I suggested that they didn't do in the second version. So I was like, I appreciated that, but I still, I couldn't. I'll watch it to see Sean Rouse's bit. I'll fast forward to that.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'd rather just see a compilation of moments from it with hanging out with Sean or something. Yeah. But the first version, it's just, I saw they did a clip, and it was like the clip made me excited about the movie. Then when I saw the movie, it just seemed to lack that the way the soundtrack was. I called it wispy, but it's just kind of this dreamlike, like music you go to sleep to. Yeah. And that's supposed to entice you to watch more, where it's like, oh, I'm dozing off and shit. And it just seemed like it just random throw-ins, and it didn't.
There's no fucking story there. There's no fucking story, no narrative. It's just and it's all contrived. It's not you know, I've never been on a road with comedians, but it doesn't feel like there's anything real about that.
It was like a clown car version of what we would do.
yeah,
You know, usually a couple of us on a show, and but you know, you have hit and miss shows or whatever, but that just was like a, you know, a whole road trip of all mostly misses. Famous Johnny's, the club we got fired at, and the Peoria night were the two that felt like actual pretty good gigs. And then, you know, Famous Johnny's turns out weren't what he wanted at all.
yeah.
The club owner and all that, but
Yeah.
it's
Is
like,
that the club where you jumped off the fucking thing and hurt your back?
no, that was actually that was in Peoria, and that was the drag show.
Right.
Lipsky talked me into climbing up there, and then I jumped down, and that was almost the end of the road trip, because I know
so that was a different gig.
like I was crippled, you know, like I was riding in the van moaning all the way to Wyoming, pretty much, where it broke down. Or no, it broke down in Colorado, which I don't even think that's in the movie, is it?
No, not that.
Like that should have been part of the movie. It's like, you know, the whole fallout. The van breaks down where it's some mom's restaurant out on the edge of some, you know, forgettable little town or whatever. But we broke down and fucking argued, and you know, like none of that. They weren't filming anything, you know. But my criticisms of it were just kind of what you said, though. It just kind of seemed so random and no narrative and anything. And when they did the second version, just having Mishka's song up front was a more of a narrative than, you know, it was like Gilligan's Island. Here we are, you know, it's lonely and sad on the road or whatever. That was what was, you know, it's like, why did it take two versions of it to come up with, you know, some of the right answers?
Right. Speaking of lonely and sad, Kiera's back. Happy minute, not sad, but speaking of lonely and sad, there she is, lonely and sad Kiera. How are you?
I'm all right.
You're not lonely and sad?
Not today.
Oh. Do you even know who James Inman is?
Is this the comedian?
No.
No, he's not a comedian.
Is this the guy you
No.
guys always talk about?
Yeah, I think we did talk about him with you, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So you do know him.
He's like Elon Musk or Donald Trump. He's one of those topics that you don't really want to talk about, but it just comes up a lot.
He's also like Elon Musk and Donald Trump in that he tells jokes that aren't funny to anybody.
Yeah.
I thought you were his friend.
Huh?
Who, me?
I thought you were friends with him. That's what I thought.
Friends is a weird word to describe their relationship. He's kind of a guy who will take advantage of your cancer to be on a podcast kind of friend.
Oh wait, I remember this story. This is the man that you asked to leave your house.
Yes.
Well, no, he came up with the idea, but I was making a lot of suggestions that way.
Yeah. Yes.
But he was planning on staying here. I'm, you know, I had surgery and all that shit, and he was going to stay here till about one in the morning, so he could drive to Seattle and catch his flight out. I was like, he was timing it so he would just get, you know, like he was going to exhaust me by being here till 1 a.m. when I wanted to go to sleep at 7:30, or, you know, I was just tired of. I was like, you know, he was almost put me in a lethargy coma. Just being, you know, like I think maybe my body was shutting down to get rid of him. It's like, if I just can't take it anymore. But that was his plan, and I think he left about 7:30 or so. Right. But I go, man, the traffic's going to be bad. I wouldn't want to leave that late, man. You'll get pulled over. I just started giving him all those scenarios where it was, you know, like when a kid makes a wrong decision, but you just, you know, go, okay, well, that's fine. And you start telling them the repercussions of their bad decision. And that's
I wonder if he ever takes his clothes off to take a shower, because he's wearing the same clothes that he wore in 1993 at the Seattle Comedy Festival.
His socks are like if you had a logger, or, you know, some, like, they're work socks, and they look like they've been fucking sweated in and dried and filthy and dry. They're fucking horrible. And so he was laying on my bed and they kicked his shoes off, kicked him off, and then those socks were that was kind of the final straw. When I saw those socks, I was like, he's not going to be staying here much longer.
Wow.
He's probably sock jacked into those things as well.
Yeah, he'd probably catch a venereal disease by just sock jacking. Those, like something he'd get athletes, fungus on his dick.
Yeah.
Not that he's athletic.
So, Kiara, yesterday I had surprise gigs that were on my calendar that I forgot about. One of them was at Luxor, place where you used to work.
Okay.
At 11:30 to 12:30. Now I was going around to rooms and playing one song or two songs for each person in a room. But I noticed that everybody in the entire facility shit at the same time.
What time of day was it?
It was 11:30 in the morning, between 11:30 and
After
the gig was
breakfast.
11:30 to 12:30. But
Cut
so
all my...
and they don't even bother going to the bathroom. Like they go back to their room to get in bed to do like an Amber Heard thing on themselves. And then they need to be cleaned up. But trying to sing through the gagging of the shit smell that was like everywhere was impossible. When you worked there, was that normal? Like they all shit at the same time?
Yes.
Oh,
That's why I can never be a CNA. I give them a lot of credit. God bless them, because that's a lot of doo-doo to clean up, and it's not for me.
I got an Amber Heard doll right here.
Mr. Hanky.
Yeah.
I told you, I think that she got intoxicated and pooped herself. I don't think she did it on purpose like he suggested. So I feel bad.
But they all have to go. It's like they know, like it's poop time. Everybody back to their room, and don't use the bathroom. Don't make it easy. Just lay in your bed and shit all over yourself, so they have to clean you.
Matt, maybe they knew you were coming, so they all shit.
I think they want it at the same time, right? I think the staff want it at the same time. You give them the meds, give them the breakfast coffee, rub their tummies. They all shit at the same time. You hose them down in the garden at the same time.
Can you have fun with it by singing like a brown-eyed girl or
something? I did. I actually did. Yes, I did. But that's you don't have too much you can go with the songs with it. But just trying to sing through the gagging on shit smell. Because listen,
been there. My new he was my new daddy, but my mom got remarried anyway. My mom's funeral. And Bob, Bob comes in, and my family sits behind him, and so I'm sitting there, and then hospice, like Bob, my new dad, was brought there by hospice, because that's where they're both. My mom checked out before him, but so I got to go. I'm gonna give us a eulogy, or not a eulogy, but a spiel or whatever, and then I'm sitting behind my new daddy, and he'd shit himself. So like the hospice people cleared out, and then my wife and daughter went and sat behind him, and then it occurred to them that and then I sat behind him, and I didn't want to go. Like my Uncle Bill was great, and he gave a good speech, and I didn't want to follow him. I was hoping to follow Larry or somebody like that, but I couldn't take it. I was sitting there, and directly behind him, and the shit was just wafting into my face, and so I leaped up and followed my Uncle Bill, and I don't think my set went real well or whatever, but I was like, we're not sitting behind my, and the whole funeral was like, the area around him was cleared out, and then at the end of it, hospice took him away or whatever, but it was it's like he ruined my set.
It's funny that you're still thinking like a comedian. I don't want to follow this guy. I want to follow Larry.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna draw him in with a thing and then do a draw him in, but I couldn't really breathe or anything, so I just kept rapid fire and stuff that wasn't really I mean, the crowd sucked anyway.
Yeah, well, imagine that smell times 80 people, or however many beds they have in that place, all doing it at once. It was just like, and then trying to sing because I was gagging on the roughest gig ever.
So Kiara, we cover these topics. So when you come in with your happy minute, there's a nice contrast. It looks happier.
I would go for the 2:00 gig next time they ask you if you'll do the show there.
I'm back there on May.
They get most of them. Their backsides are wiped if it's a good nursing home, and they're in fresh
Well,
clothing.
I think my
They
next
love-
one, my next one is going to be outdoors there. So, and the weather will be nice enough so that even if that happens, you get a nice breeze going by. It's outdoors. You're not, because it's 98 degrees in this fucking place too.
And
They
they're 98.
keep it so hot that
Yeah.
so you're not only sweating and feeling a little bit like faint from the heat, you got all the shit smell on top of it, and it was just like, wow.
So
It's
I'm
also
lucky.
the
I'm
food- the
lucky
food
to
that
have
they feed them.
cancer. Sorry.
The food that they feed them is disgusting. It's like
Right.
they don't even treat them like humans.
Right.
You know, it's like they give them cardboard and they probably have like, you know, dysentery from what they're eating because, you know.
Just a quick disclaimer here. She's not talking about the facility that I was at yesterday. She's talking about in general. A lot of facilities are like that.
No, I think that once people get to a certain age, the kids dump them there. They don't care what happens to them, and it's so sad. It really is.
My mother-in-law was in a unit, but there was a woman who was over 100, Mary, and all she could do was kind of croak or whatever. And I went there, and they were packing her room up. And her son, her son is probably in his 70s or whatever. But I go, "Hey, sorry for your loss," and we both had a good laugh. Like I didn't mean, I was trying to be sincere. I go, "Sorry for your loss." And he just, like, it's like a relief, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we don't have to pay, another month at this high end facility, or, even the low end is expensive. But that she was 102 and had fucking, she was like one big fucking skin sore. And
Wow.
with a skin sore with a wig on. It was like a Muppet, really. And it was just like, that probably went on for fucking 10, 20 years that she was like that.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I played for a lady yesterday who had her wig on the food table while she was playing and she wanted me to keep playing. She was a roommate of somebody who didn't want me to keep playing. They had an old person, make him stop, play another one, make him stop. Oh my God, I just want to get out of here. It smells like shit.
I'm just here to peel a few pain patches and sing some songs, and I'm almost out of tunes. Yeah, a long embrace, and you peel it off.
Yeah. So Kier, did you bring us some happy news? We have because we're almost time to say goodbye to governors. We have to say goodbye to governors in 4 minutes. So maybe happy news.
A cat was caught in a mudslide.
Yeah, something like
happy.
that. I think it's all dog. Actually, this is a new invention that I think I'm going to purchase.
A new
This
invention
is from ladbible.com.
Lad Bible.
Real news.
Yes, that's the name of the. But this is a man invents the burrito bumper that collects all the dropped food and places it into a new burrito. So this is it looks like a little funnel. I'm going to show you here. All right. So
Yeah. Looks like
you
Sandra.
eat your burrito over the funnel,
Yeah.
and then the
Oh
drop
my
food.
God.
Is she gonna throw up again? Oh my God! And then it goes into.
No, we see it. We see it.
Oh, my cat's making throw up noises.
Oh, that's nice. So it's like regurgitated burrito, not regurgitated. It's not like why your cat turned into a dog.
My bad.
Wasn't me. Oh, there she goes.
I saw that thing. But I'm not that kind of. It takes a certain kind of eater to have a whole taco fall out of their burrito.
Right.
But for that person in your family that you've seen that shows exceptional capacity to jam food in their face, that's the perfect gift. It's like sit down there and have your burrito spill into make another taco while you suck a beer through your helmet tube. That's I could see that like at a ball game or something, like
Yeah. No, you have to be a very sloppy eater. I mean, for me, and I would be one of these guys that gets criticized because I'd put it on a plate and get a fork and knife just because I can't take sloppy food falling all over the place. It's not my thing. Can't eat food like that. That's just falling everywhere.
I saw a person that was like it was Izzy's, a buffet pizza. It combines pizza and pudding. That explains Izzy's. And there was a big person, and it was a buffet. And I watched this person do continual motion to their mouth with two utensils.
Oh my god!
So they were ambidextrous, binge eating with both, and it was like one steady, and so one would come up and then catch what was falling off of the other,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, that person is the most proficient eater I've ever seen. It was a morbidly obese person, and you know, it was hard for them to get up and get other plates of food, so they probably could have used help. But when you got a plate in front of that person, it was like, holy fuck, it was like the Michael Jordan of eating.
Yeah.
I'm sure that person's probably dead now. But they also had cinnamon rolls, so you could get a pizza, cinnamon rolls. I don't think this person was into salad, and pudding.
Not necessarily into salad.
The pudding was what I was witnessing. It was like the double thing. It was like, man, that's like, you know, if you need a lot of pudding delivered at one time, that's the way to do it.
Well, let's say goodbye to Governor's Comedy Club, Governor's
Bye,
Podcast
Governor.
right now. It's time to end the show over there. We'll still be on YouTube and Twitch and every place you're seeing us, except Governor's. Bye for now, Governor's. Check out their schedule